because we don't get stuck with
Right.
with a bunch of them. The girls chose not to do that this year. They chose to just do it first come, first serve. I foresee them in the future also taking that same kind of plan of action, trying to at least get it to school. So if we have a situation like Kennedy qualifies, I know there were a lot of people looking for tickets and couldn't get them. So thankfully, we were able to get a few people were able to scrounge them up and make it up there. But I hope they change that system a little bit.
It's definitely bigger than that arena.
My guess is either move it to Des Moines, which I hope they don't, because I like having something on this side of the state.
It's close too. It's very convenient.
Or maybe they do 1A, 2A completely separate so that it kind of thins out the crowd a little bit. That might be helpful.
You think they'll split that up now? Because there is just 1A, 2A.
I mean, the boys can get away with it because obviously they have a bigger arena.
Right, but do you think they'll have more classes? I mean, it is just 1A, 2A for the
Well, it was only
state,
one last year.
so-
They went to 2 this year. In the future, I could see it being 3. I don't think it's going to be, probably not next year, because I think they've already got enough things they have to figure out to change. But they're actually already started the process of figuring this out, what they're going to do and how to keep it going as successful as they have, because they already sent out a survey today to get info about the state tournament and for their post meetings or the NFHS and so on and so forth. So they're working on it already. I wouldn't imagine we'll know anything before next school year, probably. Boys basketball districts, they're going to be Friday. It's going to be here in Wapello. Electronic tickets are required. It's going to be versus New London, and it's going to be a 7 p.m. start. It sounds like we just played New London. It's because we just played New London last week. Girls basketball regionals, Thursday at Highland, so tomorrow. Weather permitting, hopefully everybody's at school and we're not worried about it, because if Thursday they gotta, the girls will have to play Friday, that puts me in a tough spot because my entire scores table, all of their daughters play basketball. So we'll adjust. We'll find somebody. I already got Brittany on retainer, so we got people ready. We'll get people ready to go. We'll make it happen. The last bit was just a Hall of Fame update. I hadn't told you guys the 3 inductees this year. We're going to recognize 2 of them during track season and 1 of them during baseball season. So the 3 are Enrique Flores. He's a 3-time state champion for Wapello. He was a foreign exchange student. I don't know what the exact year. He won 3 state championships. He's got 3 records on the record board. He was ecstatic. I did finally get a hold of him via Facebook. Thank you to the book.
Yeah.
So I think he finally realized I wasn't somebody crazy. Maybe Eric told him, "You want to take this one?" I don't know, but he finally did message me back. So whether or not is he going to show up here, I don't know. We've had a trend of people coming from California to come here, so it's possible, but he's not in the States, so we'll see. Dana Royer will be the second one. She obviously, you guys know her record of taking pictures and getting stories about our kids and our school district, and I think probably very few people sell us as much as she did. I mean, honestly, when you have a local paper, you want to be in there as much as possible, and she made sure you were in there as much as possible. And I, as a father standpoint, thanked her many times when she would get pictures of my own daughter jumping hurdles or whatever, and there they are on the front page. Well, those are getting cut out, or we're getting pictures sent to us. As a parent, that always feels good. So I can recognize that. And that the last one is the 1992 baseball team, which I haven't reached out to them yet, but I did finally get the list. It took me a while to figure out that I could just go down and pull the plaque from the 92 baseball team, and their names would be on there. I sit there scratching my head because I knew a few of them. I knew this guy was on there, this guy was on there, but I can't get the whole team. Well, he would have, but thankfully the state gives you a plaque when you go to state along with your trophy. At that time they did, anymore they do not. But I was able to go down and snap a picture, and I'll be reaching out to them here sometime toward the end of when winter sports are over, and I got a little more time to do that, so. That's the three, so,
Right on the verge.
and that's all I got. Unless anybody has any questions.
Questions, comments? Thank you. Good.
All right, the shop heater, we had an issue, the bearings gave out and the shaft was completely destroyed. So Menace came and diagnosed that, and they actually had a local company machine the parts for us and saved us quite a bit of money. So I think the parts through the brand of the heater that we have were outrageous, so we saved quite a bit of money there. But it's up and running now, and then I have the alternate shop heater used as a backup, just in case that one fails.
Yeah, Mr. Horton told me he appreciates the heat.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more reliable than the old one that's in there, that's for sure. So. At some point, I've noticed the front of the high school, it seems like the water is starting to accumulate there when we get heavy rains, and it's really muddy through there. I don't know, at some point, maybe we need to look at getting that leveled back out or something to where, because kids run through there all the time, and, they're not only getting mud all over their shoes, but it's getting trapped inside and everything. But that's not like a high priority thing. I just thought, down the road we could look into that. Yeah, more sections of the shop building roof have been patched, and we can talk more about that later on the agenda. And I'm still kind of working on getting everything ready, so when we do the elevator, we're good to go and everything. I just want to make sure our machine room meets their standards that require by the state of Iowa. I just want to make sure we are good to go there. So that should be it.
Questions? All right. Personnel.
You're all yours, Brandon.
Yeah, I got such a list there. I'm just really opening up for questions if you have any. There's a lot there, and we got a few more we still have to get filled. So
In my opinion, this is a pretty outstanding group of coaches, honestly.
I just have one question. The volunteer cheer coach, did we have that last year?
yes, we
Okay.
we later in the year, Ani had something coming up, and
Okay.
be honest with you, Ashley helps her all the time anyway,
Yeah.
with other things like decorating and so on. So.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve all the hires.
All the hiring.
I'm gonna count them. I don't know Roman numerals. 16. What is 16?
I would have counted by normal numbers. Second.
All right. Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resignations, new business, consideration approved list of fundraisers, and most of them are done since you had limited time, but
I'll make a motion to approve the list of proposed fundraisers.
Second.
motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, consideration for board policies, approval.
All right, you only have two. The first one is transporting students in private vehicles. As a rule, we try not to do that, but we all know emergencies happen. This just gives the procedures. I need to know about it so that it's not just happening and we're all surprised. And then the other one is advertising and promotion, basically saying, don't take our logo, don't take our stuff and make money off of it.
I'll make a motion to approve board policies 904.1 and 904.2.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consideration for early graduates.
All right, we have 4 who have met the requirements for early graduation. They're Chloe Harden, Don Ibbotson, Medea Patterson, and Justin Tizer. Tony told me they, yes, have completed all their requirements, so they would like to graduate early, and we ask that you approve it.
Make a motion to approve their graduates.
Second. Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Consideration for budget guarantee resolution.
Eric, you want to talk on that?
Yeah, well, we don't currently qualify for budget guarantee. What this would do is if we did qualify, if something happened, we would qualify, but pass this resolution and put us in line to allow us to levy property taxes if we need to. But we had increasing enrollment. I'm sure you've seen the list floating around on social media, the ones that are on the guarantee, we're not on that list currently, and I don't expect us to be, but as a preventative measure, just make sure we're covering our bases, we're asking you to approve this resolution just in case.
Mike, I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Consideration set public hearing calendar.
All right, you have seen the calendar, before being in your packet, that here it is. Some things I just want to point out, you'll notice that the Wednesday early outs are still there. The group that worked on me with the calendar, the Labor Management Committee, told me that they wanted the Wednesday early outs more than they want to go on their spring break. I was surprised by that, but if we're gonna ask people's input, you need to take their input into consideration. We did add a couple days, we added one in October and one in March to kind of break things up. There was no break in October, and this year people were struggling with that, so we put a day off in October. We put March 16th in there to give people a long weekend, with the option of the 16th being a weather makeup day if we need it to be. You'll notice that the last student day is May 27th. Memorial Day is extremely early next year, so we're going to be going to school past Memorial Day, which is not the end of the world. I'll answer any questions you might have. Otherwise, if you're okay with this, I'd ask that we set the public hearing in conjunction with next month's board meeting, and you can also approve it at next month's board meeting.
The only thing that I can see that potentially that I would change,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to, it's not a huge deal, is, I know I've said this the last couple of years, that we're coming off Christmas, we're off for almost 2 weeks, we're back for 2 days, and we get out early. I'd rather see that 7th switch to the 21st. I know we have a day off that week on the 19th,
Right.
but
Or how about no early out?
I just think
Do we have to do an early out?
we're off for 2 weeks, but
No, I
I change,
understand what
it's
you're
fine. I look at that every year and just think, we're off for 2 full weeks, and
Well, I want this in a form that you're comfortable with, so if that's something you want to do, we can do.
there's probably a rhyme or a reason for it. So, I mean, I'm fine with it, I just have to make a comment every year.
Okay.
There's probably a reason for it, and I don't want to overstep that reason,
Okay.
but
I
maybe
mean, I
next year that,
don't disagree with that.
I don't either, I mean, but, I mean, maybe we need to
But-
find out.
TV
So we're saying they come back for 2 days and they're off.
for a half day.
Then they're,
The reason that it's there was consistency. When we already had a scheduled day off, we didn't put a Wednesday early out. Since that was a full 5-day week, that's why the early out was there.
So there's really no,
Consistency.
like, major reason.
it's fine.
No, there's nothing planned for that day. It's just the consistency of how we try to set it up.
And I'm fine with leaving it, I just
I see, because then again in
make
March,
that comment.
when there's a day off, then you have there's no early out that week
Right.
there.
I mean, this gives 10 technical breaks, 3 days or more. That is something they wanted. I'm surprised about the early outs because when we talked about 4-day school week,
Spring break was a big
it
deal.
was a huge deal. So is those voices speaking for all voices?
I feel like there was a decent amount of people on that committee, like.
The committee, that's the committee who drafted this, and then it was sent out to the whole staff, and we said, send your questions, give your feedback.
And that's all you can do.
I sent an
And
email.
Brittany is the only person who responded
That's
to
just
me.
because I like to speak my mind.
And that's okay.
But I think for me, I made the comment to Mike that we're wanting to get people to want to work here. You're not doing the 4-day. Why are we not adding a spring break or an extra long break for that time? Because people see our calendars, see our schedules. They don't want that when we don't have the breaks. You gotta pull people in here. Kids, staff, and I know it's not end all be all, but I think that would pull people in. And I think that it should have been open. I know the committee is a great thing, but I think more people need to say their opinions in that, and I think that's not everybody speaking for everybody there.
Well, that's why I'm saying it's differing from what I heard out loud
Yeah.
to what's
And I was on the committee.
what's created right here.
Well, the 4-day.
And I don't disagree, I mean, I'm not a proponent for a week-long spring break, just gonna put it out there. We've never had that here. I mean, we just don't do it. I mean, we don't front load our calendar and start early, we don't go much past Labor Day. I mean, how do you put a spring break in without shifting something around? I mean, those other schools aren't getting by with it by not doing something to their calendars.
It's the way
They're going late in the day, or, yes.
I think
So,
too,
It does.
it makes a difference when we have staff going days versus kids going hours. We should be the same, in my
That's
opinion.
what we said.
I think it's silly that we're separate.
but all you can do is ask them, and if you only have one person respond,
So how do the other schools deal with it if they don't have the early outs? What are they doing for their time that they're supposed to
their
be doing?
PD or whatever, yeah.
For those days when they're supposed to be for the teachers for their days to,
Sure.
that's what are they doing?
The only other district that I can confidently speak for is Morning Sun, and they do 2 early outs a month.
Instead of three.
Which frees some things up.
But they.
But that's the choice that they
Most of them
make.
say that one for
No,
No,
no, they do not.
I do know Danville does a week spring break.
Where do they add their time?
Columbus Junction, I think.
But they have a huge cushion at the end of the year.
We still have.
I think they have 15 minutes more a day.
And they do, they start.
Danville goes longer.
Years.
That
So-
15 minutes buys you like 8 days.
So that's why I'm saying is you're not, you don't get a week on spring break without getting that time somewhere. You're giving it somewhere.
Yep.
So I guess it's just a matter of, do you wanna give it every day to get the week, or do you wanna,
So basically what we would do is we'd only, if they wanted more spring break time, if that was the consensus, but take away 1 day a month or 2 days, 2 Wednesdays.
Right.
and probably have to extend your school day a little bit.
Yeah, that Wayne Management Committee first looked at the contract for the spring break, because I assumed that was what people were going to want. They moved away from it. They said they would prefer to have the consistent.
What's the committee, who's on, is it just teachers on the committee, or who's on?
It's just teachers.
Which is fine. I mean, they should be able to talk amongst themselves, and if it went out amongst everybody, I mean, if it came back that the majority wanted to stick with Wednesdays, it helps.
I just don't know if that's the case.
You don't think
I'll be honest, I feel like people sometimes are afraid to speak their opinion because they don't think it's gonna matter.
Well, then they.
No, I'm just being honest from what I hear in working in the district.
But you can only go on
No,
the information you have,
absolutely,
you know,
totally agree.
unfortunately.
No, yeah.
They're all adults.
Can
Speak your
we take a majority
Yeah,
vote?
totally agree.
It all depends on how long you want to drag this out.
I mean, personally,
Yeah.
they've spoken. At this point, we move forward.
That's all I say, except for whatever.
I mean, I'm not sure we need to make a problem if it's not a
I would
problem.
almost rather switch the 7th to the 21st. I mean, I know you're
Oh, I-
off one day, but I'm just, the thought process is that you're coming back from 2 full weeks off.
But that is going into a full week though, it is regular schedule
Right.
with the half day or.
And I'm fine with leaving it, I just make that comment every year when I see it, so.
Can I interject something?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, that committee was made up of certified and non-certified staff. This is about when I certified. I think what Brayden was getting at was that the non-certified people who were in there maybe had different feelings, or there were some teachers that had those same feelings. So,
Yeah.
now why people don't respond?
That's what I'm saying is if everybody had their chance to respond, as Dave said, they're all adults. If you don't wanna speak out in the committee, at least you had a chance to respond in an email, and you didn't. I mean, that's hard for me to, we gave you a chance.
Some of us also don't speak out because you're handed a calendar and you just, that's the calendar you accept because that's what we do as teachers, we accept what comes down. So I think some of us have just done it for so long, we go with the flow and we do the days that we're asked to do, so.
And I might be mistaken too, Columbus goes strictly hours, correct? They don't have their staff and students every day? I'm using them as a
They're
district,
basing,
yes, like with the breaks and stuff.
they're so, like their teaching staff is all on hours,
Yeah.
that I don't know.
I was just curious, just if we could get that information, just to
I
see,
can
but
find out.
obviously you can't, you gotta get the calendar done, maybe not for this year, but just looking into that.
I can find out.
You're talking teacher contracts?
Yeah, so like,
Sure.
teachers are days, students are hours. I don't understand why you can't be the same, and it would make a lot, of things stay the same. I mean, easier to maneuver things, front loader, whatever you need to do.
Not get balled up at the end of the year.
Yeah. There's just so many
Issue
different things.
either way, teachers,
Teachers don't do
So
this
they got
day,
2 more days to go and then they're gone, and vice versa,
So what do we say, there's like 7 in-service days before the school year starts?
To make it up
7 or
to
8,
contract
make up
days,
the
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
That right there probably got me more than missing the spring break, just having that many days to start the school year, but I'd rather have that at the beginning than the end.
Well, and you have then time to, I mean, I know that there's meetings and stuff, but you have time for your classroom.
Say some of us are in there anyways, working on those days.
Yeah. On the plus side, this at least acknowledges that work before time begins, you know? But, I don't,
So at this point, all we're doing right now is we're just gonna go ahead and set it up for the next meeting, right?
right, we have a public hearing in March.
So the public hearing is, we're still able to make changes to this
It should be in final form.
before that
Yeah.
public hearing.
Yeah,
So we have to also.
because you should vote it thumbs up or thumbs down.
So what it amounts to is if we go ahead and do this, we may have to have a special meeting if we wanna change something before that.
You got time, you could.
We have time, we got a month.
February, you could go March to April, can't you? There's no
Oh, yeah, we've
deadline,
adopted calendars as late as May.
there's no deadline to.
I don't know if it's worth the effort. I mean, if they've spoken at this point. You gave them the opportunity, maybe we just go.
I just think you go with it and
That's
see.
kind of our Hey, if we wanna make changes, you gotta speak up.
So I look at who was on the committee, there's 4 from the elementary, 4 from the high school. It was sent out, 1 person responded, I think
Was it just sent to the committee?
No, it was sent
It
staff.
was sent to staff by him. Yeah.
When was it sent?
My gosh, I know you
got
responded
it.
right away.
I was just trying to find it, because I can't read, I don't remember responding or anything, but that doesn't mean my 2,000.
I think it came from Mike, right?
It was from Mike with the calendar, and then you could respond with any questions or comments or concerns. I really don't remember.
It could further change during negotiations like it had before. Correct.
If you change the
Contract days.
contract days in negotiations, then we have to revisit that part of it. That's what's pushed out into May before. You had your calendar set and then through negotiations, you reduced contract days. So then you had to approve a new version. What do you want to do with that day in January?
Keep it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, don't mess with it, keep it.
You brought it up.
Keep it in the back of our mind, keep it in the back of our mind for next year,
Okay.
I mean, that's something you could input with staff also. If they think it's a waste of time coming back and then being gone for half a day.
Hard for Mike to
Or is it necessary, do they
That's a color change.
No, if I was gone for 2 weeks and I had to come back. I would-
Either highlight or not highlight.
I got started personally.
7 segments of Mike's life. Change it if you want to, Kenny.
I'm good with it.
Okay.
Okay, well, we've spoken that maybe not everybody's happy with it. If they're not happy with it, then everybody, and hopefully the newspaper talks about it, and they can come to Mike and talk about this conference with schedule.
Or they're watching this meeting.
Absolutely. I know it's a snowstorm, but
I feel like I've always said, we want to be transparent, so tell us,
so there are good 3-day weekends, 4-day weekends in here, and that is something that they wanted each month. And that is in here, but the spring break thing, I just remember it back in my head of want that instead of doing 4-day. So, speak out, but we go ahead and move forward.
We'll make a motion. Go ahead and set the public hearing for the 24-25 calendar at the next,
At the
or the next
meeting.
March meeting.
meeting.
Yes.
And people can still come to the public meeting
Why not?
and we can speak out and then we can vote no.
That's the purpose of the public hearing.
That is the purpose.
It's not final, but yeah.
Right. Did somebody say second?
I did, second.
Motion second, all in favor? Let's see, consideration set public hearing dates for the 25 certified budgets.
All right, Eric, you want to talk about the process?
Yeah, yep, this is no different than it was last year. It's, we now have to do 2 public hearings. We'll have to do one on a maximum. tax, asking that we're going to put out there, and then once we hopefully know SSA and a few other early unknowns, we'll come back with more of a fine-tuned final budget to have a public hearing and adoption for. So to meet the publication deadlines and to get everything to the paper, I don't feel like having a public hearing on a budget, and then I've already sent the next round to the newspaper. I want to give the public a time to come and give us suggestions if they want to see changes, so we have time to incorporate those changes before I send them. So to meet all those deadlines and give me enough time to make changes, I would propose public hearing number 1 on April 2nd, and then public hearing number 2 on April 23rd. And then the April 23rd meeting, that is not our regular board meeting, it would be a special meeting. You have a public hearing at 6 o'clock, and at 6:30 you have a short special meeting to adopt the budget and anything else that might be there. But there will be 2 meetings that one evening.
What was the second day? 23rd?
April 23rd. We have to have this all done and buttoned up by the 30th, so it still gives us time to get it into the auditor, and actually we can upload now, but that Mike and I sat down and kind of pencils this out, so.
States.
Huh?
Both my states.
Yeah, I think we try to avoid any district activity.
I'll make a motion to consider to set the public hearing dates for fiscal year 25 certified budget, April 2nd and 23rd.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor.
Aye.
Consideration of appoint district negotiations.
All right, I anticipate that starting up next month, so I need to know who would like to represent the board on that team this year.
I'm a hard pass, because I will be having.
I'll do it again.
I don't have a problem with it either.
So we think that it's possible that both of you would have a conflict with this. Without speaking to an attorney, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
This is we just talked about this. So I'm willing to take that spot. If we think there is, even if we think there's a slight chance.
If they think there's a problem, I can do it too, not a problem.
Well,
It's not a problem. I'm saying if one of you is there too, and it's not a problem, then let it go.
We are
If there's no chance, or if they say
Yes.
there's potential, but the question has not been asked to the attorney. But even if it's,
Well, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, if you want to choose 5, if you don't, fine. I really just fine.
I'll
Either.
take one of the slots, since I don't have a spouse or anything, in the school.
I do, but
That's what I said, you and I would do that.
you, Sarah, you're hard passing?
I'll be.
She said she's not amazing.
She thinks that's an excuse.
Process of elimination.
I guess that's the truth.
All right.
Argue contract.
I was at a, misunderstood what he said, I thought he was talking about you and Kenny.
No, we're not. You said
Is there a motion?
No.
So moved.
Motion second, all in favor? Good. All right, resolution request modified supplement amount for at-risk dropout prevention.
This is something that we do every year. This year, looking into next year, we are eligible to request $102,384. As always, anytime we can get spending authority, we ask that you do so.
How's that calculated at risk? I forgot how that's.
It's tied into the formula that the state uses. It's based on.
Does it go up every year, or like, is
I
it?
think it's based on need and student count, but it's something.
Does it have anything to do with,
Is it something to do with operation?
they don't do that on there.
They don't ask for any of that information, or whether they pull it from our student information system is possible.
Just code, because Epler is in that.
Yep.
And at risk.
Ashley?
Ashley's in there. So this is more than, quite a bit more than last year.
I know that, no, it's slightly higher, but it's not much higher. But I know that there's 2 different formulas that are used that you get funding for, 2.5% and 5%. We're on the 2.5.
Right.
And I've spoken with legislators before about trying to get everybody equalized on that, because obviously we're missing out on dollars that a neighbor up the road might be getting. And every year I get the same answer that there's no push to change that, other than
I wonder what dictates what percentage.
That's what I'm trying to get
It's where you were when they put the program in place.
Or which one you selected.
Yeah, somehow, but this choice you made decade or so ago, I mean, a long time ago, you're locked into.
Well, at-risk changes. I think that's a changing.
So, like Eric said, we're at 2.5%. District up the road is probably at 5.
So they're generating twice.
Twice as much.
Yeah.
And, you know, it makes a difference for us when you're trying to fund resource officers and at-risk.
Yeah. Just right now we have Ashley part-time. And don't we pull lands out of here too for some of it?
There was like $7,000 or
Most of the
$8,000.
rest, yeah.
I was just wondering. If we could do anything to help it.
Well, you can advocate with the legislators, but like I said, I've tried the last few years, but it's, you can see.
We don't get very far.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution to request modified supplement amount for at-risk and dropout. It's better than nothing.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, consideration and approval. Roof repairs.
Cody, what do you want to tell us about the roofs? I mean, they have this information.
I don't see a problem with that.
They look awfully good, don't they?
Well, I would say our biggest concern is the shop building. We just had nothing but problems. I think I've had this cast grove here 4 or 5 times this year. It seems like they'll come patch a spot and then 2 feet over it starts leaking. So what's going on with the roof is the seams are going bad. It's like every 15 to 20 years they start to wear out. So basically what they would do is they would come in, pressure wash the roof, clean it up good, redo the seams, and then seal it. And then the roof would be good. They wouldn't be like ripping the whole roof up and stuff like
So
that.
for roughly another 15-ish years.
Yeah, if that,
Do they come every year, do that inspection, reseal problem areas that they see, or is it just every few years?
I'm not sure.
There's something to do with the warranty, because if you don't keep up on it,
Yeah,
the warranty.
I think that there was a warranty with this kind of roof, and it's like every 15 years, and if you don't do the maintenance, it voids the warranty. And I do know the auditorium roof is the exact same style of roof, which kind of concerns me, because we've
And
already
it
had.
has leaked.
Yeah. So I mean, I would say let's for sure start with the shop, but, you know, and also the elementary is included on this too. It's in really bad shape. The pictures are showing huge cracks and gouges and.
So-
No leaks though, you there yet?
Not this year, I know last winter we did
Wow.
quite a few up and down the hallway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know the shop, I know the home, we found some in the home ec room too after they came and patched. But they're just, you know, we just paid to have all those ceiling tiles replaced, and we're probably gonna have to replace a good portion, especially FFA. Not that they're outrageous, but.
So when you talk about the warranty, is it them coming back to inspect it is the warranty, or what's the warranty piece of it that we have to do we have to keep up with something?
So like this is technically the maintenance that what we would be doing to the roof is getting these seams redone and sealing it back over, is the way I took it. That's what I think we should go ahead and get done. And this guy, he specializes in this kind of roof. I'm not exactly sure what it's called. It's a different kind of, yeah, it's a different kind of roof. They're not very common around here, I don't think. But we went with Castle Grove, and he came down the same day, and he has to drive quite a ways to get here. And,
Yeah, and the actual Armor Light dealer, when we were dealing with that elementary roof, or the auditorium roof, it was like pulling teeth to get somebody down here, so if you got somebody, you hold on to them.
he's great. He's been very cooperative with us.
I mean, I think we've been told this for the last 3
It's
years.
been a while. So you're just wanting to do the shop first?
I would say
You
yes.
want to do
for
A
now.
and B?
Well, let's talk about funding. I mean, I know what streams, but what's that gonna leave us with, and what can we give it?
Yeah, so you can do it. If you notice the balance and save doesn't look great right now, but all our Department of Justice cops grant expenses have come out of there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move those back to the general fund because those being funded by the general fund, they would have been more appropriate to come out of the general fund. So I'm with that, there's a couple $100,000 there that's
So
gonna
the
have to
revenue
move
money
back
from the grants needs to be moved back over
to the general fund.
Okay.
So there's a couple $100,000 expenses that go back into to save, so, you know, add 200,000 or whatever is on the sheet this
Which,
month.
if that's the case, then that leaves us with.
And we've got money coming in every month, right? It does fluctuate, some months it's
Yeah.
50,000, last month it was like 75,000, so we've got a projection on what we get for the year, but it does vary coming in month to month.
My opinion is get it done, get it fixed, have the warranty on it, stop talking about it.
That elementary roof is roughly 10 years old, it was replaced when the,
We had to have our whole roof done,
Cable was-
complex, and there's been no leaks. It's kept ruining ceiling tile, computers,
That's all
desks.
that is over there, it's elementary.
we had to have it redone after the hailstorm,
Those pictures look terrible.
yeah.
They do look terrible.
Mike and I were talking about what other roof system could be put on that building, but I honestly don't know.
Well, the way that thing is spray foamed and whatever they do there, it would about all have to come off to do anything, I
Yeah.
would think. Right down to the decking and start over possibly.
Probably do decking and everything.
Mhm. But right now, you feel that the shop, which is A, is
That's been
dire.
the biggest nightmare, yeah, it's gotta be done. The auditorium really scares me,
Did you go
but I'm
back
also
there?
worried
What's
about
in
the
the
elementary
second
too.
agreement?
200,000.
So I don't choose it at 2 there, so 400,000.
And then, so it's elementary.
Everything will come out after the building's buzz.
Well, I think that's pretty
Plus something to it.
What, how much was it?
120.
All the elementary is 93.1, and then section A is 18.6.
18.1, 32.5, or 32.5 in the high school portion.
126,000.
And it's probably one of these deals too, we need to keep in
That's right.
mind that you don't get all
Because
those
if you don't do that,
concepts,
what happens?
you can get left behind when spring is fast approaching.
Well, what if we have a major problem?
Now you're 125 turned into.
Can they work in the winter? Or do they do work in the winter?
They were just here last week doing some work, it would just depend on the weather conditions.
Do they
I would
work
get
in time
time not to do it in the cold on
That's
that
what
type
I
of
think.
roofing. Wait till it's a little bit
Well,
fair weather.
But we could get our price locked in.
We may see some leaks in elementary now, we got some snow up there.
Yeah.
It melts, we haven't had anything all along.
So I think you just do it and get it done because
I agree.
93,000 might turn into 500,000.
Yeah.
Road will do the new spray foam on it.
I think so, I'll call them and touch base with them and we can go from there.
Or is that just to fix that, what's there? I don't remember.
Rest, it just says scope of work. It acts like it says install silicone at 2 gallons per square. Wet mill gauge,
So they're gonna
3 mils is achieved. Only spray on calm days to prevent overspray, so they must be coating and spraying.
seal it.
Same coding.
Get a 10-year labor and material warranty.
So it should be good for another 10 on that one.
The other one bonding all the seams, because really that's what happens on that style. It's like- I don't know, I say we have to bite the bullet and have to do that while because it's not gonna get any cheaper. Like Kenny said, but
It turned into.
it's almost like no matter what, you're kicking the can down the road. But
Mhm.
10 years is maybe better than now.
I make a motion for, to approve all roof repairs as listed in the plan.
Second. Motion second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Items for the next meeting?
Anything you can think of? We should have a rodeo agreement in finalized form by then, we can take care of that.
That was the decision. So they make a decision on that then,
Well,
as far as turning it over to
Yep.
the.
Or moving forward?
well, if you think of anything, shoot them our way, we'll take
I
care of
can't
it.
think of anything right off the top of my head.
That's okay. You'll think of them later and then just let us know.
I did have one thing about I had somebody reach out to me about the batting cage and trying to move it behind the girls' dugout so they could, during the game, instead of out in the outfield, they can just go right back there during the game, hit or get off a tee. Well, we just a couple other schools.
We don't
like
have
that.
we don't have that. We did have it there before.
Yeah.
When we had original up and down batting cages, that's where they were, is on the side.
So just something connected maybe, and then possibility of, getting a different structure in the future. Just connecting it all, I guess, not having to go out away.
I guess I don't
The
know.
person
'Cause
said other
I guess I don't know,
schools.
because we haven't even decided where to put the batting cage yet.
Well, I thought it was, and I thought that,
I mean,
Do we even have all the batting cages here?
no, currently we
That's what
have
I-
not even a third of the batting cage
No.
here. But, so the original discussion was, the previous coaching staff had reached out to me about putting it in a place, and I said that once everything was here and we were ready to roll, we could go over and find where we're gonna put it.
okay.
My only, well, I guess it really doesn't matter where you put it over there, because it's gonna be around people. We're just gonna have
Either way.
to do the best we can. But yeah, that's a discussion we can have when we
Yeah,
get ready.
just something to think about next month. Softball will be right around the corner next month.
Yeah, nothing has been finalized as far as location yet.
Okay. I thought
Obviously,
it was on a map at one time when we approved it for the grant or whatever. I thought it was in that same area as the other one.
I think Chad had it on the map,
Completely
yes.
wrong.
I think he had it drawn in where he wanted it, but
Okay,
I had not, we as a district had not said, yes, put it there yet.
okay, fair enough. Talk about that.
I would like to bring up too on the girls softball too, so we don't forget, but we still need to address, if he's looking at landscaping or doing something with the high school, they need to look at that girls dugouts over there and that water that stands. Get that taken care of before softball season comes around. It's a constant battle. There's gotta be something that can be done.
Dirt and water and all that.
I think, and aside from raising the whole thing,
Which is a
a
possibility.
possibility, it's gonna take grading of the infield and moving it away from that and building new dugouts probably.
I mean, there's, is that one solid slab in there?
Wow.
Is it attached to the post? Does the post sit on it, or are they separate in the?
I off the top of my
I mean, I'm
head.
looking at that mud jacking, if
Yeah.
something like that's a possibility, to lift that up. Instead of replacing the slab or tearing it out, maybe that's a possibility to have someone look at.
Just a couple items for next month then.
I can look and see what I can find out.
Or you just go fix it. Okay. All right, so let's
Good.
What was the other one we said, the cage location?
dugout, landscaping.
I'll see what I can find out though.
Okay.
I think that on the home dugout, if we raise the concrete up, we're gonna have to rebuild the dugout anyway because it's too short.
Yeah.
So if you raised it 4 inches, let's say,
You're talking about,
there's balls walking through there.
and that'd be something that could be checked anyway. Those posts have been in the ground long enough. It might be about time they're about ready to rot off anyway if you really start poking around on them, so it'd be a bad idea.
All right. Next meeting time.
All right, the second Wednesday in March is the 12th, however, that is also parent-teacher conference night. We have conferences the 12th and the 13th. You probably want to look at a different day.
I would personally prefer to not go the 19th because I will be induced that night or the 20th.
And
I mean, I don't have to be here, but there's.
I'm out of the country on the 5th, so.
Is anybody posted? We have the meeting the 18th, Kenny. 19th out, coaching the 20th. Is anybody posted the 11th, Tuesday the 11th?
Morning Suns is the 11th.
Can we cancel now?
what time is morning, what time?
Yeah,
Morning Suns is at 5:45.
You probably don't want to do two.
Well, it makes no difference to me, but
He'd be,
we wouldn't be able to start here until like 7:30 or so.
The 10th, Monday?
Fine with that. 10th can work for me.
I mean, those work for me. but-
10th?
6 o'clock or what time?
Sounds good.
This one? I don't really care, somebody has a different time they want.
Yeah, 6 is fine for me. I can have my calendar so I don't forget.
Pushing
All right. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor? All right, going into closed session.
Yes.
Second.
First and second, all in favor?
Nice.